Good, you?
I'm doing just fine. Doing just fine. How's it going on a Tuesday?
Not too bad. Just got out of work.
Yeah.
About to
What
make some.
what kind of business are you in?
Oh, I'm in. How do I describe this? I build fiber optic cables.
No kidding. Like the same kind of cables that like cable companies use and things like that, or
Yep, pretty much.
wow, that's interesting. How long have you been into that?
About 2 years.
Yeah, you
Before I
like
used to the copper ones, the blah blah blah
coax?
Ethernet cable.
Oh, Ethernet. Okay. You like that? You like that stuff?
Meh.
Yeah. It's just something to do, huh?
Yeah, I'd much rather be making YouTube videos and uh, stuff, but
Yeah,
that's a hobby.
you've got a whole channel going on.
Yeah, it's I mean it's growing slowly, but that's the only way to grow, I guess, right?
Slow and steady wins the race, as they say, Justin.
Right.
What how long have you been doing the YouTube for?
Oh, well, after I started losing weight
Yeah.
and going to the gym and stuff, my brother suggested so about 5, 6 months.
Wow. Okay, cool. And so are you basically like vlogging every single day or every single workout day, or what's kind of the frequency for your posts on YouTube?
I try to film twice a week,
Okay.
um, once on Saturdays and then once middle of the week, Wednesdays ish. But I'm gonna have a special edition video coming out this week, so there's gonna be 3 videos this week.
Nice. And I see that there's kind of like a lot of editing that goes into it. I mean, you've got like background music, you've got some slick kind of, transitions and stuff. Like, how much time do you spend on editing? Because I know, like, just like podcasting, right? I mean, it takes me at least an hour or two to get it kind of where I want it to be. But for a video, I've done a couple of vlogs, very few, but that's a whole other animal.
Yeah, it's sometimes if my computer cooperates, it'll take me all day to put together the Saturday vlog or
Wow.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's the video editing is quite
I
interesting.
mean, that's transferring all the files and picking out the music and all that stuff too.
And so what do you have like a I'm a little techie kind of nerd too, so I like what kind of equipment are you like filming off your phone? Do you have like a digital camera? How are you doing that?
Nope, I'm Poe, so I film from my phone, and I have an old HP desktop that barely runs my editing software.
Wow. Yeah. That's the thing too. It's like the amount of resources that it takes to edit a video, like, and then I'm assuming like when you edit it out, when you export the final file, that's probably at least a couple of hours, right? Or close.
Depending on how long the video is and how many edits I've got in it, like if I do any effects with the sound, or transitions, or composite shots, or anything like that, anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 or 3 hours.
Wow. Wow.
And
Well,
there's the upload time too when you get it up to YouTube.
yeah, that's a whole other thing. I mean, are you running like fiber optics in your house to where it's at least a quick upload, or?
I have the 14.99 Time Warner cable.
Okay, all right. I've always heard some interesting things about Time Warner. I hear they're not always the best.
Oh, I think they got bought out by Spectrum or something like that.
Right.
They get a lot of shit for their speed. It never seems to be quite as fast as they tell you it is.
Yeah, no, I've got some speeds here that I'm definitely not seeing at all times in my house, so I'm not thrilled about it, especially when I want to stream something on Netflix or, wherever it may be. But by the way, the probably 2 or 3% of the podcast people that are like tech guys are probably really intrigued, and then like the other 90 some odd percent that have come for the weight loss are like, hey, what in the hell's going on here? So let's rein it up right on in. And tell me about how you got started in your journey. What was your starting weight?
At 315 plus, maybe.
Okay.
Because by the time I had actually started actively trying to lose weight, I had like a month and a half ago cut soda out of my diet.
Right. Now, what was kind of the reason? Everybody's got like a starting point. Some people, it's just they just decide I want to do this, or there's a health thing, or what is it that for you was kind of I need to get something started?
Well, it's actually kind of strange. My brother is going to school for his master's degree in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to do an assignment where he had to try and change somebody's behavior and document it, and
Wow.
go through something like that. And I had mentioned to him that I was having trouble with food and I wanted to change my relationship with food.
Right.
So it also out as a change my relationship with food thing. And so I started tracking my calories and found out that just as an experiment, I ate like 4,000 calories in a day. And I was like, nope.
Wow.
I'm not doing that. And
yeah, that's quite a bit. I know that at my worst, I was probably around like 3,000 because that was because I was leaving my house or leaving my job rather, and I have like an hour commute home, and I would basically stop at McDonald's every single day. And I'd get like 2 or 3 of the $1 McDoubles, and I'd tell them to put Big Mac sauce on them. And that was like every day. I had the worst addiction problem to McDonald's. It was terrible.
Taco Bell.
Hey, no, I'm with you on the Taco Bell though. For breakfast I would go there a lot. I
still eat Taco Bell though. I just had it for lunch today.
Have you found something better on their menu for you, or you just kind of eat kind of what you want because you're working out?
No, I went through all of the my favorite fast food places,
Right.
and I found the healthiest thing on the menu, and I just started ordering that instead.
No, that's great. I mean, there's always that thing. Like for me, I know Subway is okay for me. I'll still do Chipotle. I had to cut out McDonald's 1,000%. I had to just say no more. Like I actually told myself that, Gary, you are banned from going to McDonald's. You are banned from going to Burger King and Wendy's and Taco Bell. These kind of these 4 places that were really the worst to my body. And I had to ban them from my life for the entire calendar year of 2017. Now, when January 1st rolls around, I might say, okay, you're allowed to go back in there, because I feel like at that point, maybe my mindset will be different, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll go in there and not want to order something, 3, 4, 5 things and go there every single day. I think that maybe I'll be able to control it. But it's just, for me personally, and everybody's different. I mean, I think that's great that you were able to find out a way that works for you, or you could still have it, but you've gotten it under control. I mean, I think that's great. I didn't trust myself, basically, was my issue.
Oh yeah, you got to do what works for you, man. If going into those places you just can't handle it, then you got to stop. It doesn't work any other way than that.
100%. Now I'm with you on the soda though. That I cut out, but I think you had said you cut it out before you started. I did as well. Like I started my journey in January, and I cut out soda towards the end of December. Like not even because I didn't even know that I was going to start this journey. I kind of just started it up, but I kind of just cut it out just because I just got sick of it after a while, and I really fell in love with water. Like, do you drink other things that are not just water, or are you kind of just all water, nothing else?
No, I really like the Absolutely Zero Monsters.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, the Monsters, it works for you, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, I like those. I drink those probably way more often than I should.
I mean, nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, again, it's like you said, everybody has something that works for them differently. Like for me, like, I'm like water 98% of the time. And then for the other 2%, I might sneak in like a Gatorade or orange juice or sweet tea. But these are on very rare occasions. Like I really fell in love with water. And it's crazy to say because I never thought that would happen. I was kind of the guy, I used to always have to throw like Crystal Light in the water, throw things in the water to make it more interesting. And now I've just found that I really love just plain old water. I found that interesting.
Oh, yeah. I used to say water's gross. I don't drink that crap.
I love it. I get it, man. There was a time where I didn't drink any water. Believe it or not, there was actually a time where that any liquid that went in my body was not water. Did you ever go through one of those phases?
Oh yeah, I always had that big old 1 liter bottle of Mountain Dew or Pepsi or whatever I was on that week.
Yeah, I feel you. So when you got started, I mean, when you said, "All right, let's do something here," like, how did you lay out? Like, how did you figure out what worked out for you as far as workout wise? Like, was it something to where you knew kind of going in, this is the kind of stuff I want to do, or were you kind of going to the gym trying different stuff and figuring out what stuck, or how did that work out for you?
So my little brother, the one I was mentioning, who is going for his master's, is also a personal trainer. He's accomplished a lot in his life.
Wow.
If I could grow up to be anybody, it would be him.
Yeah.
But he's also a personal trainer, and I said, I'm going to go to the gym because I have so much energy from all this good food that I'm eating now. Because I'd switched to whole foods. You know, I was eating vegetables and fruits all the time, and
Right.
I felt like I was going crazy. So I said, I'm going to go to the gym. He said, okay, go to the gym and do all the machines that say push, then all the machines that say pull the next day, then all the machines that work your legs the next day.
Wow. And so that really ended up working out well for you. Is that kind of the same routine you go on now, or?
Well, I mean, I changed it up a little bit. Like after I got bored with the machines, I started looking up stuff on YouTube, and I found like Fat Meets Fire and Obese to Beast and all the other stuff, and they inspired me to make videos too. And I found like dumbbell and barbell workouts, and I just lift every day, and I love lifting so much. I wish I had known 20 years ago that I loved lifting.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
32.
30. Okay, we're not too far. I'm 35. I always feel like an old man for saying that because I feel like so many people that I meet online, like Instagram and whatnot, are younger than me, and I just feel like the old man in the room. But it's good to know there's somebody close to my age finally.
Yeah,
so.
there are a lot of us out there who are trying to do this.
Yeah, I mean, what's your take on the whole the Instagram community? Because I really, at first I used to have the account, like the account I have now was my original account. I didn't create one specifically for weight loss. Some people do, some people don't, but like I just kind of eventually evolved into that. Like when I started this, I'm like, well, this is what it's going to be now. I'm just going to put this out there for public record, for accountability, because I had quit 7 or 8 times in years past. And I said, well, gee, if everybody knows I'm doing it and then I stop doing it, people are going to ask questions. So that was kind of like my motivation. What was your motivation to kind of put it out there? And then as a add-on to that question, what do you think of the community?
Well, my motivation was, watching people like Obese to Beast and Fat Meets Fire and stuff like that.
Right.
And my brother, he said, you should put this out there. You would inspire people. So, and I said, that's a great idea. So I started putting, I put up a Facebook page and then an Instagram.
Yeah.
And then started with some YouTube videos. And it just, I don't know, I like it a lot.
You're just putting...
I like hearing people. I got a message from somebody this morning that made me feel really good.
No, that's awesome. Anytime that people reach out to you, because I get DMs, people that want to talk privately, and you never think that you'll have an impact on somebody else's life until they let you know about it. I mean, there could be people out there that are just taking in your content and following your journey, and they'll never tell you anything, and you'll never know, but you may have changed their life. I got a text from one guy who told me that just my journey had changed his life, and I didn't know how to handle that, Justin. Like, I didn't know how to process that. I mean, how do you handle that when you get a message like that from somebody?
Oh man, there's really not much to say, but thank you. And just to reaffirm that's why I put that stuff out there is because that's what I'm trying to do. Is I want to inspire people. I want people to look at me and say, man, that guy made it past 30 and he's still doing this. And I didn't think that I could pass 30 or however old I am or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I see your videos. I'm inspired by your videos, dude. Like, normally when I see your videos, it's early in the morning. Is that when you work out, or is that just when I happen to catch them?
Oh, no, I work out. I'm up at usually about 5:30, 5 o'clock every morning. I leave for the gym. I'm usually at the gym by 6:30, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because I'll get up early in the morning. I usually get up around 4 or whatever, but I don't go to the gym until the evening, but I'll catch your videos, I'll catch your stories, and you're just sitting there just clanging and banging, brothers, getting it, man. I mean, it's inspiring. It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What's your take on kind of the Instagram stories? I mean, I think it's such a unique way to kind of share your your workouts, and I mean, I see a lot of people like you utilizing it very well.
Well, thank you. I love the stories. I love being able to tell you guys about my day,
Right.
and get it out there. But I like watching the stories too. Sometimes if I'm having a really rough workout,
Yeah.
I can flip on those stories while I'm doing my cardio after the lifting,
Yeah.
and I make it through the whole cardio just watching all those stories. There's so many and so many people with their own things going on, and it's so cool and so inspiring to watch everybody do their thing.
Yeah, I see so many profiles, yours included. A lot of people they've just made these incredible journeys, and it's like, I think a lot of times we look at what other, like, before you start your journey, we kind of look at like what other people have done, and we think to ourselves, oh my God, like I could never do that. I just posted a video today on my story and on my Facebook about how I think so much we get in our own way. We get in our own way in our mind, and we think that, this is just not obtainable. It's not possible. Have you ever experienced in your life that kind of mental block that's gotten in your way from accomplishing what you want to accomplish, whether it's weight loss or anything else? Does that happen to you? Does that apply to you?
Oh yeah, that's what the whole channel name is about. Delusions of Grandiosity. That's why I called it that, was because it was my own brain convincing myself that I couldn't do these things, or that
Right.
I didn't in me, or that I didn't want to do them.
But even coming so far as you have, do you still go through these kind of struggles? Because I mean, once in a while I get it as well. I mean, I think we're all human. Is that something you still experience, or have you kind of gotten beyond that now?
I don't know. Some days I feel pretty invincible. Like I can do anything, because I look at myself in the mirror and I look at the scale, and sometimes I feel pretty invincible. Other times I'm like, no running for me today. No, just I don't want to today.
Right, right.
It's not always roses and butterflies.
Exactly. I think some people, they might want to portray it that way, especially on social media. But I think, the more you keep it real, the more honest you are. I think that's going to resonate more than somebody who's putting out just kind of this fake facade of, oh, everything's great and grand. And really it's not always the case. There's always going to be like a mental block or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I try to be so honest about what's going on, about how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and things that I'm eating, and losing weight and gaining weight. And because if I'm not honest with you guys about it, how can I expect myself to be honest with myself? I mean, that was the whole thing. That was
Right.
the whole idea of learning to be honest with yourself.
It's all about that accountability ultimately.
Absolutely.
Where are you at with the as far as the whole weighing thing? Because so many people, I see this so much on Instagram, where you have your weekly weigh-in or whatever, and you go up a pound, 2 pounds, and I've seen people say as far as, this has ruined my entire week. I'm just so gutted, like, and I can't fathom it. I have my own opinions about it. I'm sure you've seen my post, but where do you fall on that?
It's a number. I weigh myself every day.
Really? Okay. Wow. That's interesting. What's kind of your mindset behind every day versus every week, every month, that kind of deal?
Well, I like to see the way that food makes my weight change, and the way that the time of day and stuff like that affects my body. So I weigh myself every day, and it's just a number. Like, I don't really put a whole lot of stock into it. I mean, there have been times where it's messed with my head really bad.
Sure.
But I try not to let it. But I think if I said that it didn't mess with me sometimes, I'd be lying.
Right, and are you kind of using like some sort of an app or a software to track this so you can kind of look back month to month or week to week and kind of see the different results, or?
I use a calorie tracking app, and then I use a completely separate app to track all my workouts.
Oh, fantastic! What do you use? What do you think is valuable for the listeners here that maybe they should check out?
Well, if you are on Apple or iOS,
Yeah.
I recommend Evolve.
One more time. What was it?
Evolve, Evolve.
Oh, okay. Evolve. Gotcha. And what does Evolve do for you?
It tracks. It's like MyFitnessPal used to be.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I use. I use MyFitnessPal. So you're saying there's a more useful successor to MyFitnessPal? Is that where you're going with that?
You remember when MyFitnessPal used to be free?
Well, as far as I know, it's still free. They haven't charged me yet.
They like make you get a subscription for like if you want to go like down less than 5 grams
Okay.
for food or within or add your own recipes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Evolve was made by John Glaude, who runs Obese to Beast.
Okay.
And Evolve, they want to deliver the same content that MyFitnessPal used to at without the subscription charges.
Oh, that's great. Does it tie in with the watch at all? Do you know if it ties in? Because I have the watch.
I haven't used it yet. I know it's just out for iOS. I have an Android personally.
Oh, okay, you're
waiting
Android.
for Android.
Yeah.
They keep saying it's going to be out anytime. But not to plug him too much, but I really like John. Like I really like Obese to Beast.
Is he on Instagram as well? Is he a good follow?
Yeah, this guy, he used to weigh like 372 pounds. Now he weighs like 165.
Wow, 372. That's the exact number that I started at. I mean, I'm shooting for 185, but that's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
It might be 364. I may have gotten you and him mixed up because you guys are both pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. Close enough. I 362, 372. It's all similar. And then what was the? You said there was 2 apps. What was the other app for the listeners?
The one that I use is called Lose It.
Lose It. Okay, that sounds familiar. And what all does Lose It offer you?
Lose It gives me the calorie tracking, and then the app that I use for my my workout tracking is called JE Fit.
Okay, JE Fit. Now, as far as the food, I know you mentioned you'll check out some fast food stuff that's within a certain range for you. But what kind of is your do you follow like a specific diet plan, or are you kind of going custom? Like what are you really doing with your diet?
Well, I do what I call flexible eating.
Okay.
Which basically means that if it fits in my calories, I eat it. If it doesn't, then I don't.
And what's you have? I'm sure you have a specific number of calories per day in mind, or?
Yeah, the Lose It app is really cool because when you first start it, it asks you to put in your age, your height, your weight, and your gender or your sex.
Right.
And then it tells you how many calories you should eat if you want to lose 1 or 2 pounds or gain 1 or 2 pounds a week.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal did something similar, and I know I was well over 3,000 before, but it was like stay under 2,800, and I'm like, dude, I'm really only taking about 1,500 or 1,600 a day. Like that's really all I have, and then I go in the gym and I burn off 1,000 of them 4 or 5 times a week. So, I'm taking out a lot more than I'm putting in, I think, or getting close, rather.
Yeah, you just got to create that caloric deficit, and you'll lose weight. It really, I mean, you just got to not be sprinting it, because if you're sprinting it, you're going to, hurt your metabolism and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think one thing I see online so frequently is a lot of these people that are trying to sell this and that and the other thing, and I mean, I think there's really something to be said for. There's people out there that really want this kind of instant gratification. They want this quick fix, this overnight fix, this 1 week fix. They want something that's going to, I want to drop 20 pounds in a week or whatever that number is. And I think so many people get lost in the fact that it's a long-term investment in yourself. It's a long-term journey. This is not an overnight thing. And, I think people just look for the quick way out. And that's why we have, thousands of accounts that follow and unfollow us every time we use hashtags to try to sell us diet pills or whatever. It's a mess out there. I'm sure you get a lot of the spam as well.
Yeah, I do. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, even if you're just using the Google machine.
Yeah.
You can Google weight loss, and it'll come up with thousands of advertisements about these pills you can take or these shakes you can drink, and I haven't touched a single one of them. I mean, I drink a protein shake every morning after the gym, but that's it.
Yeah. I try to stay the hell off Google. It's like it's almost kind of that funny thing of like, like if something's wrong with you, like health wise, you're like, oh, let me look up what this could be, and then you get in those big forums where people's like, well, it could be that you've got AIDS, you've got cancer, you've got all these things, you're gonna die, but it in reality, it's like a little rash or whatever. Like, I think weight loss, it's kind of a similar thing, where we look up this one thing and then we kind of get misled, like you said, down these different roads that lead to you buying products, and people spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on all this crap that ultimately could do damage, could make them sick. We don't know what the side effects are of these things. And that's why, I've always been kind of a voter of all natural, weight loss stuff. That's the way I've always looked at it.
Oh yeah, it's not even just the pills and the stuff like that. It's the crash diets that they sell you, and the things where they have you eating at 1,000 calories a day and burning 1,000 calories a day, so your body doesn't have any fuel.
Yeah, it's just not healthy. It's not a good way to look at it. So
you just got to switch around.
Yeah, that brings me up to something, because I was doing the treadmill for so long, and I've always been loyal to this thing through and through. Because again, it's like we've said, you got to find out what works for you, right? So for me, it was like when I started, I'm going to get on the treadmill, and I'm just going to do nothing but the treadmill. I'm going to consistently do the same thing day after day, week after week, and I did that. And then finally one day I woke up and I'm like, let's try something different. I wasn't bored with the treadmill. I wasn't sick of it. I just said, let's try something else. And then I fell in love with the stair stepper, and that thing really unlocked a whole new potential of weight loss for me.
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite one.
I see you on that thing on your stories. That stair stepper is interesting. I'll share a story with you. I remember when, the last 2 or 3 years before this journey, where just going up one flight of stairs, Justin, would get me completely out of breath. Felt like death. Like I was going to fall flat on my face,
Yes, sir.
And when I started this thing, I said to myself, I never want to feel like that again. Like, we find these one things in our lives where we're like, I don't want to go back to that again. And then as a result, we figure out how to fix it. But that, for me, the stair steppers, it has so much more of a personal touch to me in the sense of I know what it was like. And now I live on the top floor of my apartment building, and there's no elevators here. And so I go up these stairs, and I don't even mind. I like it. I'm like, oh, you can put me on the top floor. Great, I'll take it, because it's more stairs for me to run up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I can definitely relate to that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of like going forward here, like, what is your ultimate kind of goal, when you're looking a couple of months, a year or two down the line? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to end up health-wise?
Well, I'm hoping to be – I haven't picked a goal weight yet.
Okay.
To be completely honest. I just said I'm just going to lose weight until I feel better.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And so I figure that I've probably got about another 70 pounds.
Wow, okay. And how long do you think it'll take you to lose that?
Maybe another 8 months to a year.
Yeah. I feel like probably by next June or July I should hit my goal as well. And I've got a little bit more than what I think I was doing the math the other day. It's at least like 80 or 90 some odd pounds more to go. But I'll tell you what, man, even when you know that in your mind, you think about how you feel now versus how you felt when you started. I mean, isn't it like night and day for you?
Absolutely.
Look, I get it. Understatement of the century, obviously. But I mean, seriously though, speak to that. Speak to this, it's not so much how you look, it's how you feel. I mean, what are some of the differences that you notice? Like, did you have some health ailments like when you got started that now you don't have anymore? What kind of stories could you share in that regard?
Well, I used to have bad knees. Like, I couldn't even get up off this couch.
Right.
And limp. And now I can squat.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And I don't, my back, I used to get lower back pain, and I used to have a hard time sleeping. I'd get hip pain when I was sleeping. And now it's just, I sleep better even. I mean, it's as simple as just even getting a better night's sleep.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that, because I know there was times where I'd stop breathing in my sleep. I don't know if you ever had that problem.
No, I never had sleep apnea. No, I was lucky in that regard.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's like I know now I don't even have that problem anymore. That blows my mind. It also blows my mind. Like for me, I have the knees too, but I also had I used to get these bad cases of gout. And yeah, I get I've always gotten like gout, cellulitis, all these different things. I mean, I nearly died 3 years ago.
My goodness.
And yeah, I nearly died, and even after that, I still didn't change my ways for another almost 2 years, which blows my mind. I mean, it just speaks to how out of control life was. But yeah, now I wake up, I get out of bed, I'm not sore, nothing's in pain, there's no knee problems, there's no ankle, feet, legs, back, none of that stuff. So, I think so much, Justin, people, they look so much into how do I look, do I look great in the mirror here, but man, how you feel, there's just something to be said for that.
Exercise is great for a lot of different physical things, even as much as depression, fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Not a doctor or anything, but this is what I've seen even in the people around me.
Right.
So the people around me that I go to the gym with and hang out with that didn't used to go to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, it changes your life really for the better if you stick with it. Like I was. This is going to sound so damn stupid, but I was just happy enough to be able to close my legs together to set a laptop on my lap. I used to not be able to do that.
Oh, absolutely right. I agree with that too.
You know what I mean? Like that to me is amazing, to be able to even just set that down on my lap and to be able to just type away or whatever it is. That is like a small victory to me.
To have a lap in general, that is a pretty small victory.
No kidding. I don't know if you got this. For me, I got these like big fat kind of like pockets on the top of my leg, kind of like in the inner, I don't know, the thigh area or whatever. They look like these big bulges. And I noticed that in the last couple of months that I've been doing the treadmill and the stairs, that these things have been going down. And that was a huge victory to me, because I can tell you a couple of years ago, I first noticed them when I was changing, going to a party, and I always saw them from there on out. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. And then I noticed the other day I was, getting out of the shower or whatever, and I looked down, I'm like, holy crap, these things are nearly gone. I mean, they're still there, but they're not nowhere near as firm as they used to be. They're getting kind of flabby, and they're shrinking. And I was like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, I feel that all over my body, and there are parts of my body that are getting harder that weren't as hard before. And lifting does that. And, it just builds muscle, like in my chest and in my arms and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just the changes that go on when you start exercising and when you start losing weight, and the physical, the way you look, the way you feel, everything just makes. I don't know if I could go back to the way I was before. I made a video about being able to wrap a bath towel around myself and how excited I was about that.
That's amazing, though, right? I bet you were like probably like, I don't know your personality, I don't know you, but I feel like, I know me, I'd be dancing around the damn apartment if I was able to do that. Like,
Yeah, oh man, I was singing and dancing and having a good old time.
I had a similar experience when I put on a size 40 pants and I was like a 52, and that was like the first time I realized that, holy crap, I can fit into a size 40. Like, I bet by now it's probably a 38 or a 36 even, but at the time when I hit the 40, I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that it's pretty crazy. It was um, all my clothes from last winter don't fit anymore.
Now you've got to go back to, now did you save some old clothes to like go back into, or now do you got to buy a whole new wardrobe?
Oh no, man! I've been big my whole life. I haven't fit into anything less than a 2XL since probably high school.
Wow.
Maybe
Okay.
junior.
How big of shirts were you in at your biggest?
I was in a 3XL.
Okay.
Now I can get into an XL. It's a little tight, but I can fit into it.
That's amazing, dude. I am so close to getting into an XL like comfortably. I'd posted a picture a couple of weeks ago where I got into one and I wore it around, and I mean it felt fine, but it was a little tight, kind of similar to what you're saying, and that was a huge moment because I used to wear a 5XL and those things were huge. I'd go to wrestling events or baseball or concerts, and nobody sells a 5XL at these things. And so now, I go to these concerts like this past weekend, and I'm able to just go up and say, yeah, I'll take an extra large of this, and it fits. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, right.
It's an amazing feeling. It really is.
Absolutely.
So what, so what's the next move? Like, are you going to be altering your workout? Or are you kind of keeping it the same? You happy with where it's at, or?
Well, I'm going to. I made a video announcing it, but I'm going to start studying for my personal trainer certificate. I'm going to go through ACE.
Nice.
So I'm hoping to have that by this time next year, and I'm going to learn things and change my lifting routine as it suits to accommodate the things that I've learned. But I usually like to stick with the same routine for about 12 weeks and get my body feeling really good and used to it, and then switch it up.
Yeah, definitely. You get kind of comfortable with one thing, and at the moment you start to get comfortable with it, the moment you go to the gym and you don't feel like you just got your ass kicked for an hour, it's time to change it up, right?
Yep, that's usually the last time it took me about 12 weeks before I could walk out of the gym not feeling like I had just destroyed whatever body part I was working.
I love it. Well, Justin, I tell you, man, you're an inspiration to me, brother, and I know you are to a lot of other people. I really appreciate, being able to follow your journey and see how far you've come, and I look forward to continuing to follow along in your journey, man.
Yeah. Your listeners can find me on YouTube. I'm sure you'll probably include a link on your website.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I've been listening to your podcasts and watching your Instagram. You rock, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Go ahead, though. I will put a link to it, but go ahead and just, like if they're listening on their phone and they just want to type it in real quick, what's the links to your stuff?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Delusions of Grandiosity. If you want me to spell it really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
DELUSIONS.
Okay.
Of OV. Grandiosity, GRANDIOSITY.
All right, and so you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, you said you're on Facebook as well?
Yep.
What about the Twitter? You do the Twitter?
I do the Twitter. I'm not very good at it, so I don't do a whole lot of spending time on it. I follow a very select few people on Twitter.
Sure.
If you want to, you can catch me at Count the Star, COUNTTHESTAR.
Okay. Where do you quick side note, where do you get Count the Stars from? What's the story behind that? What was it?
The band.
Are you kidding me? You like Count the Stars? Am I knowing somebody else that likes Count the Stars?
I grew up on Count the Stars, man.
We're talking about the Count the Stars that was around about 15 years ago on Victory Records. Do I have the same band? Are we talking about the same band?
If they, I don't listen to them much anymore, but I can't remember any of the names of the songs off their album.
Taking it,
kind of like,
taking it all back.
Yes.
Ah, yep. Dude, all right, man. I love this. I love this. I love that band.
Yep. I haven't listened to it. Like I just looked them up a little while ago, and I couldn't believe that I could still find them on YouTube. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
No kidding. Since you've looked them up, have they done anything different, or they still just have the one album?
No, just the one album. Actually, I think there was 2 on their discography.
Okay. Yeah, I loved that band. I got to see them live once in Washington, D.C. They were on tour with another band called the June Spirit, who that band blew me away. Look me up on YouTube. I'll find you as well. I have an old video from that show. I don't have Count the Stars, unfortunately. My battery ran out, but the June Spirit, they were very similar in the very much of the same vein as Count the Stars. If you like Count the Stars, you'd love the June Spirit, but, I cannot believe that is so random, because I used to listen to all these kind of bands that are kind of in that genre, the small independent kind of bands, and they were big for me. I saw them once in DC, and then I saw them once in Asbury Park, New Jersey for the Skate and Surf Festival in 2003. So that, man. Yeah,
I just was listening to your podcast with the guy from Vice Years.
Yeah, Stephen Lucas, yeah.
Yeah, I caught the snippet of the clip that you played of the song at the end, and I was just thinking about looking them up, actually.
Oh, you definitely should, man. They're fantastic. Steven, as you heard in the podcast, I've known him forever, and kind of in our local scene here in DC, we used to play shows together all the time back when I was in a band. He's still in a band because he does it so much better than I ever did. But we kind of grew up in that same local scene, and bands like Count the Stars would come through town and play, and it was awesome, man. I feel like you and I now, we'll have to trade discographies and talk about some bands at some point here soon.
See, you're lucky. You live in that area where all them bands come through. I live in Podunk Town, middle of Nowheresville.
Where is that at?
Just to see a good band.
Where is that at? You said you're up in upstate New York, right?
Yeah, it's a little town called Elmira, and we get a couple of bands that come through a local place called Tags.
Okay. Well, Count the Stars, they were from Albany, I think.
Huh?
Count the Stars, I believe, was from Albany.
Yeah, they were from upstate. They were from up north. Yep.
Yeah. So they're not too far from you. But yeah, man, my God, I bet we probably have some of the similar musical interest. Now, these kind of bands that Count the Stars, have you been listening to these guys for like years, or these kind of bands, or what?
Well, I used to be really into music and that kind of scene when I was in like late high school.
Yeah, me too.
Like 2003, 2004. I think when I was a junior, I went to see Trapped and Dropbox and Smile Empty Soul and
wow.
Bands up in Syracuse. There was one other band, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Finger 11. That's right. They played there, too.
Oh, okay, right on.
But I wasn't, I'm not a huge concert person. And then I stopped listening to music for, 12 years. And I just started picking music back up again and listening to the new release channel on Google Play.
Yeah.
So there's some good up and coming stuff. Marilyn Manson just came out with a new album, and so did Avenged Sevenfold, and there was another band that I heard that I really liked, and I can't remember what the name of it was.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that's being put out there now. But if you like Count the Stars, definitely June Spirit, I would recommend. They're long gone. They were a kind of one and done similar deal, and gone far before their time, let me tell you. I mean, long before their time they were gone. But yeah, I'll look you up on the YouTube. I'll send you a link. Maybe you'll find something you like in there. But dude, it was so awesome to chat with you. And again, really enjoy your Instagram. I get a lot out of it, and I think a lot of other people do as well. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit on the podcast.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.